Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and this are the remains of a Japanese Type 96 150mm Howitzer. This is a gun that was manufactured, it was adopted in 1936. It was a Japanese design largely based on Schneider, a French Schneider system. So breech block is a rotating interrupted thread breech block. The breech on this one is missing, but you can see the interrupted threads in the back of the chamber there. Production began in 1936, ran until 1944. A grand total of right about 600 of these were manufactured. And what the Japanese found is that as a general system, a 150mm howitzer was a lot more useful than, say, a 100 or 105mm field gun, while presenting basically the same requirements for transit and mobility. Interestingly, this thing, while it's set up to look like a sort of a general field piece right now, this can actually elevate up to 70 degrees. You can see the rack and pinion there for the elevation. Now, the clever-eyed will notice that the gun can't possibly elevate that high with this recoil tray here. And you're right, above 45 degrees, you would have to dig a pit to accommodate that recoil tray. But as long as you do that, the gun can essentially be used in fire missions like a very large mortar, which gave it a lot of tactical flexibility. Now we have a split trail design here. Really a pretty modern gun. These were originally equipped with wooden, rubber-tired wooden wheels, which was one of their few limitations or obsolete elements as of the 1930s when they were first adopted. Now, the limitation that provides is that it means you can't really tow it at high speed behind trucks. However, the Japanese really didn't have a lot of high-speed trucks that they were, doing a lot of artillery transport with, and so that limitation wasn't really an issue for the Japanese. It would have been an optic that sat right here. Unfortunately, the wheels are missing on this particular example, but you can see some of the other mechanical elements in there. Gun shield in the front, the recuperator underneath. So on Guadalcanal, these guns were generally used by what was called by the Americans Pistol Pete, which was essentially Japanese harassment fire from Mount Austen and from the west bank of the Matanikau River onto Henderson Field. It was never, it's one thing to say it was never really serious artillery bombardment. That's not what the guys at the receiving end probably wouldn't agree with that, but it was never coordinated heavy fire. It was simply fire to disrupt operations and maybe get a lucky hit on something. And the guns were moved around frequently to prevent them from being located and destroyed by American air power. So Pistol Pete consisted of essentially every type of gun in the Japanese inventory, but this was certainly one of them, and not just this model, but this specific gun. This gun came off of Mount Austen. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this look at the remains of a Type 96 150mm howitzer. Thanks for watching.